Hello my friends, it's great to see you for yet another video because the way that Donald Trump is going, we only may have a limited number of those left before he gets us all killed. That's right, there's a lunatic in the White House, my friends. Does anyone else know about this, or am I being hysterical again? It seems to me there's an absolute madman in the White House, and an interesting thing is happening, my friends, that we must talk about today as huge numbers, massive amounts of MAGA dorks are now flipping on Donald Trump yet again. They always change their mind, don't they? They always kiss and make up and tell Donald Trump they're sorry at the end. They like to pretend they can stand up for themselves for a little while, though. It's adorable. But anyways, as of right now, a whole lot of MAGA dorks are extremely infuriated with Donald Trump, as Donald Trump has started a war with Iran, my friends. Yeah, you guys remember it was just 5 days ago now. At this point, sorry, my face itches. Anyways, I put out a video talking about how long before Donald Trump starts a world war. And of course, there were a few MAGA lunatics here going, "You're being hysterical." And that's why I started the video that way, because now look at us. It seems I'm not half as crazy as they say I am I, my friends? Because it is true, Donald Trump has started launching bombs at Iran. And over on Donald Trump's Truth Social, you know, that webpage where he lies his ass off all the time, all hell has broken loose with the Trump supporters, and it's kind of glorious. But like I said, they'll get mad at Donald Trump and then they'll apologize to him. As a matter of fact, I had heard, I didn't go confirm this, but I had heard that Tucker Carlson has already apologized to Donald Trump. Tucker Carlson's so pathetic, isn't he? What a bitch that guy is. Anyways, we do have a lot to talk about. I don't even know where to begin with this, if I'm being completely honest with you. One thing I want to talk about is Donald Trump is completely like kicking the legs out of any argument that MAGA has in favor of Donald Trump, as he continues to blow up every fucking thing they say. Everything they come to me to fight for, Donald Trump continues to obliterate those things. It used to be about the eggs, and then Donald Trump takes office, and his administration intentionally sweeps like bird flu information under the rug, the same way they tried to do with COVID, right? And if we don't know about it, then it's not really a problem. Egg prices fucking skyrocket. They go through the goddamn roof immediately. Like, they come down a little bit and then Donald Trump takes a victory lap. But it used to be about the eggs, my friends. Those were simpler times, weren't they? I miss being mad about eggs, because like the bombs, those are worse for anybody that's not keeping up with what I'm saying. But it started out with fucking eggs. Donald Trump fucked that whole thing up, like he does with everything. And then we went on to the immigration, right? They say is a huge problem in America. And I understand crossing borders illegally and shit like that is a problem. There does need to be a form of border control. This whole thing where the right says that the left is for open borders is completely fucking made up. You probably won't ever find somebody on the left that is like, hell yeah, open borders and chaos and anarchy. That's what I really stand for. And if you do find somebody like that, there's still going to be people on the left, a lot of people on the left, saying they sound fucking stupid, because the left has also always believed in controlling the border also. This is just a lunatic thing that the right makes up because they can't really win on the topics, right? But then with the border and immigration, Donald Trump just started rounding up everybody, right? It was fucking nuts. It's probably still going on, but we got so many distractions out there, we don't know what to keep up with. So Donald Trump's out there just rounding up every brown person that's legal, that's here in America legally, and sending them to El Salvador concentration camps. And a bunch of people, of course, on the left were pissed about that, but who are we kidding, my friends? The right was not mad about that. They fucking love that shit. Look, how are they going to scapegoat someone if we don't round them up, right? We have to actually follow through with it. You know how MAGA is a bunch of whining underachievers that blame brown people for all their fucking problems instead of grabbing themselves, pulling up by their fucking bootstraps and figuring it out? You know, those guys, those lazy sons of bitches, right? So obviously that wasn't as big of an issue. But the other things that Donald Trump has severely fucked his voters on, his supporters, is the economy. Remember, Donald Trump was going to come in and on day one, like magic, he was going to fix the fucking economy. He was just going to fix everything. And then he obliterated that son of a bitch. Just absolutely destroyed the economy. Starts threatening Canada, starts threatening Mexico, starts starts threatening Greenland and Panama, throws tariffs on fucking everybody. We need tariffs. That solves problems, right? Tariff solves problems. And he does a bunch of crazy shit, basically, absolutely destroying the supply chain. Small businesses start going under, they're not able to pay for inventory anymore because they can't afford the tariffs. Dock workers get fired. Fucking truckers get fired. Fucking retail workers get fired, right? Millions of people just out on their asses because Donald Trump is a fuck up. That's the biggest takeaway you need to take from this entire channel. Donald Trump is a fuck up. So right, Donald Trump was going to be good on the economy, and he went and blew that fucking thing up, just destroyed it, and now they can't talk about that anymore. So the eggs are too damn expensive. Fucking the economy's a complete fucking shit show. We're not a trusted trading partner in the world anymore. So MAGA don't have that leg to stand on anymore. It's fucking insane. And then they go on and on about how, I guess Kamala, they said, was going to start a lot of wars. That's a talking point that I hear quite a bit. And I gotta be honest with you, my friends, the more I learn about Israel, and look, I'm an evolving person, I learn as I go, right? But the more I learn about Israel, the more I understand at least why people were not happy with Kamala's response to the Israel issue, when she would always say, well, Israel has a right to defend itself. Well, it seems to me that Israel might be ran by a bloodthirsty asshole that is always looking for a fucking fight, and sometimes, just maybe sometimes, I'm a little premature, this isn't the part of the video I want to be talking about yet, but since I'm talking about it, maybe sometimes if somebody wants to launch a bomb at someone, they need to deal with the consequences of their own fucking actions and not drag us into it. Anyways, the point I want to try to get back to is Donald Trump has completely handicapped his entire movement for having a leg to stand on with anything that he has said and done, and it's been really difficult for them to try to justify his bullshit now, hasn't it? And then they had this one last beautiful, amazing thing they could still stand on, and that was that Donald Trump was the anti-war president. He's not going to drag us into expensive wars where Americans get killed. Donald Trump is going to use diplomacy, which is the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard. Donald Trump is going to use diplomacy? That doesn't make a bit of sense. He doesn't even know how to talk. And they're talking about diplomacy. Donald Trump is not the fucking deal maker that they think he is. He couldn't stop the Ukraine-Russia war because he can't stop licking Putin's balls. And we can't figure out why that can't fucking get fixed, of course, right? That's crazy. But anyways, here's where we're at. Here's where we're at, my friends. Israel wasn't content with killing all the people in Gaza. Look, I don't know much about that, so all I know is that Israel wasn't defending itself at that point. They went way beyond defending themselves. That's what I fucking know about Israel. They weren't happy with that, and they decided, you know what, we're gonna just launch some bombs at Iran. And I understand that Iran's not a perfect country. They've got a lot of flaws themselves, but actually, I think they were just defending themselves. So Israel launches some bombs, then Iran starts firing fucking back on them, right? And then we have, all of a sudden, America is there shooting down Iranian missiles that are headed towards Israel, and that's probably about the time that we got involved in this fucking war, right? And that's probably about the time. But anyways, last night, these fucking geniuses that are running America right now, what the hell did they call it? Operation Midnight Hammer. Once again, compensating for their tiny cocks, they called it Operation Midnight Hammer. Because they're never going to hear those words in their life. Nobody's ever going to refer to them as Midnight Hammer. You guys get it. Tiny peepees everywhere. It's embarrassing at this point. It really is. Anyways, America launches strikes on Iran. On their nuclear sites, and that brings us to today. The first thing I must laugh at when it comes to this, the first thing that I find to be hilarious and terrifying all at the same time, is the amount of people that are going, that's unconstitutional. Donald Trump can't do that. It's unconstitutional. Hollow words, my friends. Absolutely fucking meaningless. If we had a president that gave a fuck about the law, that might mean something. But when you say it's unconstitutional over and over, and nobody does jack shit about it, does it fucking matter anymore? more, I don't believe that it does. And I don't know what we're supposed to do with that, right? Look, I'm just a trucker. I can shout it's unconstitutional into this fucking camera all I want. Nothing really fucking happens. I could just do it over and over and nothing happens. But we've got our leaders. What's his name? Massey, I think it is. Thomas Massey, something like that. He's a Republican. You guys can fill in the blanks for me, the little fog of war that I have having to do with, I think it's Thomas Massey. But he's even saying, this is unconstitutional. Well, stupid, why don't you call up the other fucking leaders in America? Democrats will all be on board, and get a couple other Republicans and impeach this son of a bitch, and then send that to Senate. Call up another few fucking people that don't think this is okay, and get that motherfucker removed from office. Would you spare me the bullshit? I get it. You have to come out and let people know that you're against it. And I think that's a very powerful thing, Mr. Massey. I think that's very powerful for you to come out and say that you're against it, because you can sway opinions. Maybe you can get other people to be against it, but this demands action. This is the time for action. Thank you for tweeting that it's unconstitutional. I appreciate that. But now we need you to do something about it, okay? And that's the part that America keeps fucking missing. We can't keep shouting at Donald Trump that it's unconstitutional. That doesn't do anything. Are we fucking kidding ourselves right now? It's become such a hollow term, just absolutely meaningless. It's unconstitutional. Anyways, anyone hungry? What are you guys doing for lunch today? Fucking nonsense. Absolute bullshit. But where we're really at, Donald Trump truth socialed about his strikes on Iran, to which thousands, I don't have an account there, my friend, so I have to rely on other people to do the homework on these, but thousands of people went after Donald Trump and said, what the fuck are you doing? I voted for you, I supported you, I don't support this, saying things like Israel needs to fight their own war. And yes, the fuck they do. In this situation, look, I could be wrong. I am willing to accept that I could be wrong about this, and I don't know enough about international affairs and shit like that, but if somebody goes launching fucking bombs at other countries and they get bombed back, well, they kind of fucking had it coming now, didn't they? 100% Israel can fight their own fucking war on this one. Puts us in quite a situation, though, because apparently Russia's allied with Iran. And I don't mean to laugh at that, because that could actually be a very, very bad thing. Russia's allied with Iran, and Russia was apparently telling Donald Trump, knock this shit off, don't fucking do it. Donald Trump does it anyways without congressional approval, goes out and blows shit up. And I don't think Russia will necessarily retaliate against America. If they do, it will be in some sort of sly, slick manner that, you know, maybe we do or we don't know what they're up to. But what if I think they could step up attacks on Ukraine even more as retaliation against America for what they did? Which, when I say it out loud, it's probably what fucking Donald Trump wants anyways. That's probably all part of the plan at this point. So now that I say that out loud, that doesn't hold any water. Anyways, Trump supporters are finding out that Donald Trump is a goddamn liar and was not going to keep us out of wars. And I mean, welcome to reality, fuckheads. It's about time you figured that shit out. We've been trying to fucking tell you for a while. When a man stands in front of you and says, I don't care about you, I just want your vote, and then you run around the internet going, he was joking, and then he completely butt fucks you, like, because lack of better term, every step of the way. He obliterates your economy, he deports your wife, that's the word I was looking for, obliterates the economy, deports your wife, fucking ends your job, then gets America involved in what's going to be at least a decade-long war. This ain't just over, right? And Donald Trump tweeted after he bombed shit that it's time for peace. Guess what, motherfuckers? Donald Trump doesn't get to make the next decision in what happens now. Other people, other countries are going to retaliate. But the point is, a bunch of Trump supporters are going, this ain't what I voted for. This isn't what I wanted. What the fuck are you doing, Donald Trump? You're a liar. You have lied to me. You've done all these things. And yeah, that's 100% true. And look, we do need more and more people having a falling out with Donald Trump. We need more and more people to stand against him, because that's what it's going to take, because our elected officials aren't going to fucking do it until they're scared of us. And I don't mean violent attacks or anything like that. We need them to be more worried about us as citizens than they are worried about Donald Trump and his base before they're ever going to respond and help us out in any kind of way. So the more and more people that stop backing Donald Trump and are outspoken against what he's seeing, the faster we get out of this fucking nightmare, unless we get nuked, and then we get out of here really fucking fast, like extremely fast. It happens quick, my friends. It happens real fast. But what am I trying to say? I don't know how else we can explain to these dumb motherfuckers that this was always going to happen. Donald Trump was just going to say what he needs to say to win an election, and then he was going to do whatever the fuck he wants to do. And I don't know how people looked at Donald Trump and said, yes, this is a good thing. This is going to be a great thing for America. But here the fuck we are, apparently. I don't remember what else I wanted to say, and I'm going to be really pissed off when I stop recording this video because there were some other parts that I wanted to mention. But I guess what I want to say is we are definitely involved in a years-long conflict at this point. Anytime we get involved with the Middle East, that Middle East region, it's not that we go in and strike and we leave and it's all over. And with saying that, I remembered the points that I was going to make. This makes things even fucking worse than they were even since Donald Trump has taken office. The people that voted for lower gas prices for some fucking reason, the people that voted for lower prices, including the goods you buy every day and groceries and all these things, all just got obliterated. Every fucking part of that. We are going to see, as this escalates, we are going to see massive spikes. I predict, I could be wrong, my friends, massive spikes in oil prices, gas prices, diesel prices, all of that is going to go through the fucking roof, which, look, has a negative effect on the American truck driver even more, but the American consumer also. Also, there's shipping routes that run through that region, and now those things are going to be threatened. That's going to break the supply chain even fucking more. There is not a single positive that I can think of that Donald Trump has created by illegally, unconstitutionally plunging America into a fucking war. There is not a single positive. Israel took advantage of the dumb son of a bitch, conned him into doing it, and now us, the American people, have to live with the consequences of what is about to actually happen. Congratulations, MAGA. You've done it yet again. You have found yet another way to fuck over the American people. I'm glad you're paying attention. I'm glad you're not on board with this, but it's too late. It already happened, and you sons of bitches voted for it. With that said, I really mean this time. I better get back to work while I still have a job left to fucking do out here. These assholes are fucking me over, my friends. Love you guys. Bye now.